what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the show. I am joined today by Mr. Andrew Spey. Bray is at the Captain's Cup, which starts today at 2 p.m. Eastern.
He's at America's Cup.
America's Cup.
We have Captain's Cup.
Fart.
Well, there's so many cups going on now, which is great. More competition, but America's Cup, men's freestyle in North Carolina, not undisclosed location. And then Captain's Cup, we're going to a very frosty Iowa.
Yeah. And what -4 is going to be the high on like Saturday.
It's going to be chilly.
And then like -20 is the low or something. Anyways. Let's bring on our first guest. This 2019 World Champion, Jacarra Winchester. Jacarra, are you ready for the Captain's Cup?
Yeah, I'm super excited to get to wrestle like 3 or 4 matches, so I'm super excited for that.
Awesome. Are you ready for the cold? Is it that cold in Colorado?
No.
Negative as the high?
No, I think it's like we've been having some nice days here, like 46 in the 30s and kind of like that, but negative. I wasn't prepared for that, and I'm actually glad you guys told me because I haven't checked the weather yet, and I need to pack today. So I'm going to pack my heated jacket. Team USA gave me like this jacket. Like,
heated jacket? What do you mean? It's not just warm, but it's heated?
So it's a jacket, like this big, nice, like Ralph Lauren jacket, and it has a heater inside. You like press it in the back, heats up, so it's nice.
Get out of here. Do you have to like charge it or put batteries in it or anything?
You have to charge it. It's like, so you take it out, the heater part, and then you charge it, and then after. So what I do is normally if I'm going somewhere, I usually preheat my jacket and then put it on and then leave. It's pretty nice.
That's smart. It's like those heated blankets. You ever have a heated blanket?
Yeah, I have one of those under here. I always sleep with it.
Dude, you got everything. You got the heated blanket,
yes.
You got the heated jacket. What else do you have that's heated?
I got a heating pad. I'm all about being warm. I have a paraffin wax machine that like waxes your hands and stuff.
Would you have perhaps a sauna even inside your own home?
Yes, I have a mini sauna. It's like a tent sauna, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, you can zip up and it goes right to, and then you're like your head sticking out. It's almost like a robot costume.
So what I usually do is I keep my head in. I like put the little thing over it, and I just sit in there like this, and then get warm. I have room to like put my legs down, stretch out a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty nice.
You ever consider doing one of these interviews like via, your phone or your computer, like while you're like inside the sauna and then put your head out and talk? I'm not saying you should, but you ever consider that?
No, what I usually do for the Zoom calls during like the really, really like deep quarantine times, I would do my Zoom calls inside of the sauna. So it's pretty cool because at the bottom it's cooler, so you can bring your device in, and then I just sit in there and then sweat and get my workout in.
That's pretty sweet. So you got, deep quarantine, meaning like probably this past summer or whenever things were like really on lockdown, right? What was that like for you? Because you have your own room at the OTC, and it was not a whole lot of people there. Like, how have things changed? Do you still spend most of your day in your room? Is the wrestling room open? Can you move around a lot more?
So before, at the beginning of quarantine, I was they had sent everybody away from the OTC. They were like, okay, you guys, like, we'll pay for your flights for you to leave, like USA Wrestling. However, ain't nobody gonna make me leave. So what I was doing, I was actually squatting at the OTC for a while. I'm always like trolling on our group chat and stuff. And then I went silent for like 2 weeks. And they were like, have anybody seen Jacarra? Where is Jacarra at? And so I was staying in my room. There wasn't anybody really there. In my hall, I think there was 2 other people. So I never saw anybody. I do my workouts in my room. If I wanted to get some sunlight, I'd drag my stationary bike outside and then just pedal out outside. I ended up moving off of campus, actually, because in order for us to be able to wrestle, they had to keep off campus and on campus separate. But I wanted to be able to wrestle with Sarah, and she was off campus, so I ended up moving off campus, and it was a way better choice because now I have more freedom. I still stay in like my little training bubble, but I can work out whenever I want. I don't have to tell them that I'm leaving to go to the store and stuff like that. So it's nice.
You would have to be on that much, whatever you call it, regimented, where every time you move, you had to tell them?
Yeah, like we couldn't leave campus without telling them or else we'd get in trouble. And I'm like, bro, I'm like almost 30 years old. What do you mean I have to tell you that I'm going to the store? Like, bad enough I shouldn't be going to the store and getting chips at 12 o'clock anyway, but now I gotta tell you that I'm gonna go get chips, like it's horrible.
That's rough.
That's like boarding school. That's old school style.
So for 2 weeks, you went silent. You didn't tell, you're just like kind of hunkered down in your room. What was that experience like? I don't know. It sounds like you were hardly communicating with the outside world.
Yeah, no, I wasn't, which is funny because I was the only one at the OTC, and Haley put in a group chat. She was like, "Hey, is anybody still at the OTC? I have a succulent plant that I need to that needs caring for." And I just looked at the message. I was like, keep scrolling. I can't give away my location. But so I saw the message, but I couldn't give myself away. Like, it was either me or that succulent. And succulents live damn near forever. So I was like, I'm good. I would I don't really talk to people much anyways. Like, I'm pretty to myself. So unless we're in practice and I'm harassing people. But other than that, so nobody was really concerned until they were like, we know Jacarra isn't supposed to be at the OTC, so where is Jacarra? So that was the case.
How did it come out that venture? You're like, I'm here and I've been here the whole time.
Well, it was, I think after a month, the cafeteria, because they can check your cards or whatever whenever you scan in and out. Okay. And they were like, Jacarra hasn't been to the cafeteria. But where is she? And there was one day, because I had a whole bunch of food from when I was just eating my travel food that I would pack for my suitcases and stuff like that. So I was eating tuna and fig bars and stuff like that, and sparkling water, just living off the land, really. And and then they were like, Jacarra, you're still here. You can come to the caf. So it was the OTC workers that I think the cleaning staff have seen me or whatever, and they were like, because the lights, they usually keep the lights off, and I would leave them on and then turn them off and on, and then they found out that I was there, but they were cool with it. They were cool people.
Come eat and live life and just be okay. Just come.
Yes. They said, we don't want you wasting away at your room. I was like, that's one thing I won't do is starve. I eat everything in sight, so I'll be good.
Do you enjoy that alone time for that long?
Oh yeah. Well, it was the peak of wrestling, right? So it's I was telling myself, I was like, I wish I could have a break from wrestling where I can just do whatever I want. I can just eat whatever I want. I can have time to play video games, but I don't want other people getting better. I want everybody to be the same. I was like, but that's never going to happen. And then COVID happened. I was like, fuck yeah! I can play video games. I get to sit here. Nobody can wrestle. So it was the perfect thing for me. So it was a break that I needed. And I enjoyed my time. I had time to actually rest. I had time to even though I had the choice of eating whatever I want, it made me happy because I still stuck to my diet.
And here you are.
Yes.
What games do you play when you get your video time?
So I play Injustice, I play Mortal Kombat, I play UFC, sometimes I play 2K, but I hate basketball, and that game makes me so angry. I play Grand Theft Auto when I get mad so I can beat people up. And then I have some really boring games like The Sims that I spend 6 hours on.
Okay.
That makes sense. The combat games, combat sport, yeah. And you get to recreate that in Mortal Kombat. A little bit more violent than on the mat, but
Yeah, it's actually funny because that's why I can't have a boyfriend. Because some guys would be like, "Oh, you play video games?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, come over, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I'll come over, bring my Xbox or whatever, and I'll play. But I'm not playing to be cute. I'm actually coming to fuck them up, right? So I'll beat them, and then they're like, what the fuck, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I didn't really come here. This wasn't a Netflix and chill type.
You want to play video games, you get
yeah. So it doesn't work out for me when it comes to that.
You mentioned you playing UFC games. I'm just curious. You have You're obviously a world champion wrestler. I think maybe you've been in a fight or two in your life. Yeah. Have you ever even thought about, considered, or wanted to take up MMA at some point after you finished wrestling?
So I thought about it, and then I saw somebody get folded, literally like some laundry. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't think that I can, like, because I know, like, I hate when I lose, like, in wrestling and it's like all over the place. And that's like me, like, coming out the match like conscious, right? Like, just imagine getting knocked out on the floor and people making memes of you, and that's just going around. So I'm like, I just go fitness model and be cute. So
And play video games.
yes.
All right. So Captain's Cup, it's coming up this weekend. What do you think when you heard about the event originally? And like, when's the last time you wrestled in a dual meet? I guess like World Cup, probably.
Yeah. Well, like I thought about when I first heard it, I was like, oh, this is cool. You know, like it's gonna be some good competition because it's like mostly the national team, right? Like we have some college girls, and they are like still good, like up and coming, but like you get to basically kind of do Olympic trials before it happens, right? So if you're not ready for trials, this will get you ready. The last time I did a dual meet was World Cup, pretty much. So that's like, I think a year ago or something. But it's always nice because this isn't a team sport, really. It's more of an individual sport. And then you get like a team aspect of it. So I think it kind of makes you help everybody else and not just focus on yourself.
I guess that might be it, but compare like going through a regular event, an individual tournament versus a dual meet setting. And I don't know, does it feel different to you, whether it's nerves or just an overall feeling in general?
I think this is going to be a little bit more challenging because usually when I'm at a tournament, I'm like, all right, I get my warm up in and then I go get away from everybody, right? Like I have my coach tell me right before the match is going. And then, because I'm usually sitting there looking out the window or staring at a wall or something, listening to calming music. And I don't want to be bothered and I don't want to talk to people. And then I go out and wrestle. But now I have to make sure my team has what they need. You know, I have to talk to people now because they're going to be asking me questions. And I'm like, I don't do that shit. But like, you can't really help it. Right. So it's like kind of taking on the role of a coach and an athlete and just bringing positivity to your team, which is going to be kind of hard. Like I'm super happy about it, but I also have a ritual for my tournament. So it's just like fighting through diversity for everybody.
What is your ritual?
Staring out the window
Okay,
and
like you
not
just
talking
said.
to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. When did that become your ritual? Have you always done that, or is it like something that developed in your like pregame ritual, whatever you want to call it?
So I've been trying to do like trial and error for every tournament.
Yeah.
And I noticed after 2018 World Championships, so the girl that I had already beat, I had her in the semis. And everybody was coming up to me like, oh, come on, good job. Let's get this. Let's get this one. All right, good luck. Good luck. Just like tapping me. Let's go, champ. Stuff like that. And then I was like, I don't really like this. And then like, but it kept like playing into my head. And then I thought I had to wrestle for them, you know, like don't want to let these people down. They literally just did a gauntlet of cheering me on, you know? And then I go out there and lose. So I was like, wow, I really don't like when people are around me during competition. So I started like getting away from it. And it just takes a lot of energy from you. Like you want to watch your friends match. And then like I'm watching Sarah's match and I'm like sitting there getting all tense and stuff, even though she's winning like 8-0, but I'm like tense and that's taken away from my energy, you know? So I need to go get away from that. And I like I don't think I have ADD, but I'm like always like shaky anyway. So like I have to relax myself. And I'm like, all right, I'll just move my arms like in the motion of wrestling while I'm listening to this calming song. And then when I get out there, I'm like, ah! So in order for me to keep all that energy, I have to go be by myself.
Sure. 2018 semifinals. Maybe was that the girl? Was that girl dirty? Am I thinking of the right man?
Yeah, she
Pulling your
was
hair.
dirty, man. Yeah, she was, but she won. So
Have you dealt with that very often, or was that one of the first times, or has that happened quite a lot in overseas?
no, it's happened like quite a lot, but that was so blatant. Like it was, she was, which is crazy. I have never been dirty in a match, and the one time in my career I ever pull somebody's hair, I get called for it. I was like, what? She literally just bit me. My like boob is almost out. Like there was so much stuff happening in that match, but you just can't let people like take you out of that. So after that match, like I'd have Clarissa pull my hair, like scratch me, like dig her fingers into me and stuff while we're wrestling. Even Maya's like, all right, I know this is gonna happen, so pull my hair. And I'm like sitting there like yanking her stuff, not even going for a takedown, just ripping her hair. But that's just some stuff you have to practice because even in France, like the girl bit me, she like it was bad, but like you got to be prepared for stuff like that because it's wrestling. People can't really beat you with their technique, and they want to win, so they're going to find a way to beat you.
Well, tell me more about France. You sound like you're going to say something there.
No, it was that was just it. It was a bloody match. My first match was like 18 minutes, and it was just a very bloody match. It was like I was bleeding, she was bleeding, then she was biting me, and then she was bleeding again. It was all over the place.
Do you like maybe not biting and hair pulling, right? But do you like physical matches that are like, hey, this is just gonna be a fight, and maybe there's pulling hair, maybe not, but like, do you like that, or would you rather just hit some nice takedowns and?
It's like weird because I was asking Lauren the other day. I was like, okay, everybody had like their like kind of like everybody says Yanni's like super slick, right? Like Sarah's super slick, like we know Jenna strong. I was like, what do you think I am? Like, what do you? And she was like, I don't know. She was like, you're too strong to be slick, but you do cool moves. And so we never got to anything about that. So we're like, I don't know. If you try to get physical, I mean, I'm from Oakland. You're not gonna punk me, so that's not gonna happen. But I like technical matches because then it's like, okay, who knows more? Like whenever I wrestle with Helen, I never go like, oh, I'm gonna bully you, because you can't bully Helen because you go to club her or do something, you're on your back, right? She's low single into you, she's inside leg tripping you or something. So you really got to focus in. So I think I like more technical matches, but if we're gonna get physical, then hey, we're gonna get physical.
Yeah. Over the years, how have you changed and developed as a wrestler? I remember watching you years ago and being like, this she's really raw, but there's something good about this girl. And I couldn't put my finger on it, but it was like the fight in you, the athleticism. And I'm like, when she gets the tools together, she's going to be freaking scary. So I'm just curious, like, what you remember about the development over the years, and did you realize you had some ability, like a lot of potential?
So when I was first starting out, because I started my junior year of high school, and I didn't really know how to wrestle. I was just really physical and athletic. And so that's what I brought to the mat. I didn't think about like conditioning and like, okay, make yourself last for 6 minutes. I would just like, go beat her up, like make her not want to wrestle again. So that was my like train of thought. I didn't really have technique. Like I did knee picks and ankle picks, but that's just because I like and then jump down to the leg. So it wasn't really technical. I think once I started noticing that I think a sophomore in college and like placing no less than third at World Team Trials in the US Open, I was like, like maybe these people aren't that hard to beat. Even though like I had like my class was like I had Helen, Allie, we had Jen Page, we had Amanda Hindi, Sarah. We had like a whole stack of girls, but we were all like at top tier, like placed in third, making world teams and stuff like that. So I think just having that competition to push me and realizing like I could be good. And so then I started going to Mizzou to work with Clarissa Chan. And then Sammy helped me to actually realize like this is wrestling, right? Like you can be physical, but you have to have a gas tank. Yeah, like just different aspects of wrestling. And then I just started getting better.
How much of that was the physical things you're talking about, having a gas tank and understanding position and techniques, and how much it was just like mental or confidence?
I think a lot of it was confidence just because like I would go to the women's practice and like beat up all the girls. And then right after I'd go to the men's practice at Missouri Valley. And you can't really like manhandle a man, right? Like I was like wrestling with the 125 pounders and stuff like that. And I was like taking them down and stuff. And I was like, there should be no girl taking me down if I'm taking down this man, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And so like that was a big confidence booster, and just knowing that I can train with women and men in the same day and then go to a tournament like next week. It was like there was a big difference in it, you know, but it once you got to the senior level for like wrestling Helen wasn't the same as wrestling like the men on the team. Helen like it's like wrestling a chess match, right? Like she is very calculated, where the men on the team would just, I'm going to use my testosterone and I'm going to blow through you, right? And I can sprawl away and then get behind. Versus Helen, she's going to be up here, down here, moving this way, moving that way, and then take her shot. And I'm already on the floor. So it's like just knowing, you know, like figuring out what you need to do. To get to the point where you need to do. Watching film, like I didn't utilize that much until I got to the senior level, because it's not so much of like this girl has a single leg versus what tie is she using to get there. So just the little things.
When you watch film, do you watch it on yourself or people you're gonna wrestle?
So both. When I'm doing cardio, I watch like I use FloWrestling to watch all of my matches. Yeah, so I type my name in and then I look at it just to see like the improvement and takedowns that I missed. Like how can I make that better? Like I look at my knee pick and I'm like, how can I do that in a different way to make it better? Where can I set it up better? Or how did this person take me down? What position should my knee have been in so I wouldn't have given up the takedown?
All right. What about when you watch your opponents?
When I'm watching my opponents, I usually just watch for their ties and what they do and how I can get my offense off of it. And like, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I'll look at it and I'm like, oh, ain't no way. Ain't no way she getting that on me. But like, just telling yourself that, right? Instead of saying, oh, she has a good single leg, she's gonna take me down in a single. I'm like, she ain't taking me down in a single because I know how it's coming, you know?
Yeah. Cool. I want to switch gears a little bit. You talked about, I think maybe sophomore year of college, you started placing high at all these tournaments, and so once you're on the national team, you get to start traveling overseas, right? And I'm sure that's a lot of different. What do you remember? I don't know about your first trip or a favorite trip, whether it's a place you went to or a tournament you did well in, but I want to hear about some of your overseas experiences.
I think my favorite trip would have to be, I love anytime that we go to Japan because I am a neat freak and they are super, super clean there. So I really like it. And I'm a pescatarian and they have sushi. So that's also another plus. Don't really like the fashion. Like I'd never buy clothes overseas because they don't really wear Lululemon and stuff like that. And I really like Lulu. um, but also I like Spain. I like tropical places. Usually when we go like to either Ukraine or Russia, it's always snowing, and I really do not like snow. So those are out for me. My first ever trip, I think it was Budapest. And then that was like a crazy experience because I'd never been outside of the like United States, and I was like, "Whoa, look at this! This is so cool!" And then my worst ever trip was Mongolia. Nothing against Mongolia, you guys are awesome, but we had 15 girls to one room, so they were putting all the teams in one room. Yeah, Brazil had 3 girls, all 3 of them within one room, a big room. We had all the Americans in one room in bunk beds next to each other. Some of the people were sick. Some of them weren't. Like it was horrible. It was like a hospital, like during the plague. It was horrible. So
I can only imagine
that
trying to sleep, and yeah, if somebody snores, who
yeah,
knows?
it was bad. And then we had they were serving us lamb every day, and there was like a whole, you know how like in America you have like cats like all kind of like randomly by themselves and stuff like that, like they're just like wild cats.
Stray cats.
They had like packs of street cats, there you go, alley cats. Yep. And they had packs of dogs like that, and that's so sad. I love dogs. So I definitely don't ever want to go back to that place.
Yeah, packed into one room and stray dogs. That's not
not
as cool sounding as like Tokyo or the French Riviera.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet, but
was it Desglain in Nice?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so that's close enough. Were you able to do anything at that tournament? Was stuff closed down Did you have any free time?
So everything was closed. We had to be inside of the hotel at 6 o'clock. We couldn't like leave, and most of the time was spent like basically like weight cutting because we had no cardio equipment. We didn't have a sauna at all. So the time that I did get out was like a nice little stroll on the beach, but it was like a 30-minute run in my sauna suit, so I wasn't really enjoying it because I was like, man, it's hot. So
Yeah.
I didn't really, yeah. But it seemed like if I went there without like a vacation, it was beautiful, but you couldn't really enjoy it because we didn't have time to.
Sure. Back to the Captain's Cup for a moment. You picked Sarah McMahon, right, as your coach?
Yeah.
Tell me why you picked Sarah.
It was just like for me a no-brainer because she's still competing. It's not wrestling, it's UFC, but she has the mindset of an athlete still. Whereas some coaches forget and they're like, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do this? It's like, because I could. No, you could have always did that. She understands like you can't always do what your coach is saying because that move is not there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I think she has a connection with with the athletes that she can share, and just like there's another level of respect for somebody who's still going at it. She understands, and she is an Olympic silver medalist. So she knows what it takes to get there. We've had some Zoom calls with her, and she's been absolutely great, even talking to the girls. So I think it was a good choice.
What's it been like with getting your team together? I don't know. You talk about these group chats. I'm sure you're talking about one at the OTC with the sucking plants and all that. But like, did you get one together with your team and Sarah? And what's that been like, if you have, communicating with the other ladies on the team?
Yeah, so I actually didn't think about the idea. Like, I emailed them at first. I didn't think about doing that either. I just thought they were going to watch the draft and be like, oh, cool, I'm on Team Jacarra, and we were going to see each other at the Captain's Cup. But then Sarah Hildebrandt was like, yeah, I started emailing the girls, and I was like,
Ah.
I didn't write that down. Maybe I should do that. So then I emailed all of them, and then some of them weren't getting back to me. And then I was like, oh well. And then we had another call with Jaden, and he was like the host, and he asked Victoria Francis like the same question. She was like, yeah, I've been doing Zoom calls, and I was like, I think you're gonna do that too. I was like, Zoom call? You gotta go above and beyond. So then I was able to get everybody on a Zoom call. So it was pretty cool, just to see where everybody stood on it, to see if people were mad about the comments that I made on the draft and stuff like that. Because I guess Gracie was somebody. Everybody kept telling me, you need to message Gracie and tell her that you're happy that she's on the team. And I was like, what do you mean? Of course I'm happy. I wouldn't have picked her if I didn't want her on the team.
Yeah.
But I rewind the video, and it was like, so you were like, tell us why you picked Gracie. And I was like, because I couldn't get Lauren. But it was a joke.
Girl. Come on.
It was a joke. Yeah, I know. But, okay. It was a joke. And not to mention, I did say some nice stuff about her afterwards. Some really nice stuff. And I'm not a liar, so I wouldn't lie and bring up stuff that I wouldn't, so. But she was cool with it. Like, she didn't have her camera on, so I don't know if she was cool with it. But I think we're cool. She hasn't said anything to me. She's been super good, so we'll see how it goes.
We'll give you makeup here. So why are you excited to have Gracie on your team?
Because I'm just kidding. I'm excited to have her because she is young. Like I said, I've wrestled with her, and I only picked people that I thought were capable of winning a world and Olympic title. So I think she's capable.
That's big words. Okay, and we brought up Sarah, and Trisha Saunders is a coach. She's like the original women's pioneer, and Christy Davis, and a lot of women who have had a big impact on women's wrestling. And you maybe have the girls like Helen started wrestling when they were young, right? And you didn't start till you were in the middle of high school. And I don't know when your eyes got opened up to like the world level. But who do you first remember hearing about as, oh, these women are winning world medals and becoming, doing well on the world level, and that's who I want to aspire to be? Or did that not happen until you actually showed up yourself?
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about wrestling until my junior year, and that was just like wrestling in high school. I only in college is I just found out actually like right before that trivia game, like when I said I was really bad at trivia and I got all the answers right, I literally just did some studying on women's wrestling because the tour guy would ask me, when did wrestling first come in the Olympics for women? And I'm like, can I just please go to practice? I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know any of that. Leave me alone. Like, I just worry about myself and wrestling, how I can get better. I don't want to do the history lesson.
Yeah.
So I just figured that stuff out. But the first person that I was ever like, about was Clarissa Chan. And I'm still like, about her because she's absolutely amazing.
What was it like to be in awe of her and then to actually like meet her?
Oh man, it was crazy. So I was like, oh man, Clarissa Chan, like I never heard her talk or anything before. I just saw her wrestling and stuff, you know, because you don't talk during wrestling.
Right.
And so I was like, oh my goodness. And then she was like so cool. She's like from Hawaii, so she's kind of had like that like Hawaii, California vibe to her, right?
Chill.
And
Yeah.
I'm from California. Yeah, super chill. And I was just like, she's so cool and she's so nice. I was just so like taken aback by her because she's like so humble, so funny, so like nice. Whereas like some people at that level weren't the same. Like I'm not gonna mention names, but had met other people and they were kind of disappointing. And I was like, wow, okay, well that's not what I expected. But
Yeah.
maybe because I love Clarissa so much that she like exceeded my expectations even more than she possibly could. And then I got to like wrestle with her and then she made me better. Like I was open to like taking what she was saying in because I was already like, oh my goodness, Clarissa, it's Clarissa Chan, you know? So yeah.
Clarissa's always kind of been a fan favorite. Really, really awesome
Yeah.
young lady.
Oh yeah, and staying in the sport, constantly giving back, always helping move it forward. Awesome to see.
And now she's coaching, right? She's out at the OTC, which I guess brings up another point. I don't know if you've thought this far, right? But one day you're going to retire, whenever that is.
The look.
Whenever. Well, it could be 20 years from now, but you're not going to be able to wrestle forever. I hate if I'm the first one to tell you that. I'm sorry. But would you like to coach? Do you want to stay in wrestling? Do you want to go into business, or do you know what you'd like to do once eventually you can't wrestle?
Yeah. So, I would not like to coach. I
Really?
do not like coaching at all. Yeah, no. It's hard because like you put so much time into people. I don't want to care more than an athlete. And with that, Kate, like I coached at Missouri Valley kind of for like 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was hell. Like the girls don't care. Like some of them care, some of them don't. Some of them want to just like kiss your butt to be like, oh, I'm friends with Jacarra, I'm friends with the coach. You know, they'll be like, you'll work with them for like that day or for a week and they're doing so good and making progress. And then they're on like a drinking bender like the next week, not showing up to practice. And it's like, I spent so much time. You're so good. Why? And so that's like, it hurts my heart. And I think it's hard. Like I went to Iowa and I was coaching Lauren and Amy at the Nationals. And it was just so much nerves. Like I have another level of respect for coaches because I was like, I'm not wrestling, so I know that I would be winning this match. You know, like I'm going out there, I'm gonna impose my will on this person, but I don't know what Amy's feeling. I don't know what Lauren's feeling. I don't know if they have that same drive, and I don't know if they trust their preparation like I would. So they might be questioning themselves, and I don't know which Lauren or Amy is gonna walk out on the mat. Whereas I know which Jacarra is, you know? So, and I was like sitting there sweating. I had like this cute tank top on and they had like sweat stains all over the place. And then my muscles were getting like super like pumped because I was getting so tense. And people were like, who's that coach? He's super buff. And I was like, no, I'm trying to be cute. Please don't look at my muscles right now. So but with that aside, I think I just want to do like fitness modeling after I'm done wrestling because I still want to be fit and I still want to do something with like inspiring people and making them feel better about themselves.
Yeah, you're very fit, and I think fitness modeling would be good. But something that gets you talking because you're entertaining, you're engaging. I think you're a ball to talk with. So hopefully there's a component of that as well. And to the coaching part, I coached for a few years before I started working here, and Yeah, it's an emotional roller coaster, isn't it? You get done with the day and like you're so excited for some wins and you're pumped and then you're like somebody loses and you're depressed and it's like all day long.
Yeah.
It's just like back and forth. So I hear you.
So speaking
Yeah,
of,
it's hard.
oh, sorry, what were you gonna say? It's a lot
No, I
coaching.
was just gonna say it's hard. It's just
Yeah.
emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, draining. I can imagine. I never did any coaching, but maybe one day. Speaking of stuff that you can control, though, you can scout your opponents. So you get the Captain's Cup coming up, and the number of women at the 53 kilogram weight class that are participating is basically like a little mini team trials. I mean, there's a lot of women that are coming for your spot. Have you looked ahead at who you might be wrestling, and have any thoughts about, Catherine Shy is in there, Rana Heaton, Alex Hedrick is now in, Cheyenne Sistenstein, and Felicity Taylor. They're all on that ladder. So any thoughts on those guys?
Yeah. Okay. So
You want to be quiet. You don't want to tell too much.
nah, I mean, I'm just gonna go for it. So
Yes.
I saw the like once we drafted everybody, I tried to do every scenario possible, and I was like, okay, if I wrestle this person first, blah blah blah. Like I had like a whole little plot board, and I was like, I don't know why, but I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to wrestle Catherine first, which ended up happening. I had Catherine and Rana, and then the next day, I don't know who I have, but I saw that, and it just makes me happy because I felt like when I wrestled Catherine last time, even though I like beat her, I didn't beat her the way I wanted to beat her. Like I didn't give my all to that match, and I feel like it can be better. Like there could be more wrestling in it, and that's what I'm coming to do is wrestle. Like I'm not coming to win by 2 points. I'm not coming to like be ahead by 4 and stall out. Like I want to actually see how my wrestling has progressed. So I think it'll be a good match because we'll get a lot of wrestling done, like more attempts on shots, more attempts on scoring. And I know Catherine's super not flaily, but super loose, right? So I think we're gonna get in some weird fun positions because she can step to the side and crotch lift, she can like pull her leg over here and put like we got in some weird positions. So and it's funny because Rana's the exact same way. Like Rana's like it's like these long body people, which is weird because it's 53 kilos and then you go up and everybody gets shorter, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like excited about that. I'm used to wrestling Rana and Catherine, but I've never wrestled the college girls. So it'll be interesting to see. I pretty much know how those matches are going to go, but it'll be interesting to see the fight part of it, because I feel like college girls, they don't have the technique as much, but they have the fight, which will be like the tipping of the tides, right? Like they come with aggression and they come with, they don't have anything to lose, right? So I think it's going to be really interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like what you said about being able to put on a show with Catherine and Rana. And have you thought about that this might be it's the first of its kind. It's a all women's event, a dual tournament that or a dual meet championship that got created out of scratch. Are you or from scratch? Are you kind of focused on making sure that everybody puts forth the best effort and puts on a show, because there should be hopefully a lot of eyeballs on this?
I think just naturally, like for us women, when we go to compete, right? Like how we hadn't competed in a long time. We went to France, we showed up, like some people might not be like, oh, that wasn't their best tournament, but we all still came with fight, and I think anytime we step on the mat, it's because you're risking your body, right? So you might as well just give it all you got. So I think it'll be very high levels of wrestling because women are flexible. We have different like hips, like we get in weird positions already. And as you guys saw, like people like Tiare, she's not afraid to throw. Like we have throwers. We have like just a lot of different talent. Girls who've done judo, like girls who just do like kind of like jujitsu type of stuff, like without laying on their back, just like weird stuff, So I think it'll be super cool.
Awesome. We're getting to the end of the line, but I want to go through one little segment we like to play with all our guests. And you've been on before, but I don't think we did this with you because it was a while ago when you were on last. But it's wins and whoopings. So from your from the first day you wrestled till I guess your last match in France. Is there like one win that really stands out, whether it was like the best win of your career, or you beat somebody who beat you before, or you were getting your butt whooped and you came back, or whatever it was, a win that stands out to you, and you're like, yeah, it felt great after the end of it. And the opposite, where a loss that was just like an ass whooping, where like someone took your soul, and you were just like, God, when you walk off the mat, you're just like, what happened? I don't even think I know how to wrestle. So I'm looking for two stories or two instances, and you can answer either one first.
All right, let's see. Loss. Who beat me up so bad? Let's go with wins first, huh? Okay.
You're the boss.
So my favorite win was it was 2018 or maybe 2019 Pan Am's actually. I had to qualify the weight for World Championships or something. It was like Jenna's weight, and kind of sucked because I had bumped up and the girls were huge, which is crazy. I was like, there's literally a huge height difference. Like, how are these girls so big? That's only one weight class. And so I thought I had took third place, and I was like, yeah, I was like celebrating. And I was wondering why Terry wasn't as happy for me. Like, he was watching the other match while he was in my corner. And I was like, I just won. And he was like, all right, cool it down. And then he was like, yeah, you got another match. I was like, what? And he's like, you got another match. Venezuela won, so you're gonna have to wrestle the Venezuelan girl. And I was like, wow, are you serious? It's gonna be like 5 matches. I'm not doing it. And then he's like, you are gonna do it. He's like talking me into it. And I already like came to the tournament like not. I was like, Tamara, make sure you have your knee pads, because she wears double knee pads. And I was like making sure Tamara had her stuff. All along, I had forgot my knee pads at the hotel, and I hate wrestling without knee pads. So my knees were already matte burned up because they're all fresh and stuff, right? And so I was like, I don't want to wrestle again. So I was like, you got this. Be a champion. Go out there. Go get it. Literally, first 5 seconds, I get thrown. So she like hip tosses me on my head, and then as I'm like on my back, I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. This isn't even my weight class. So I'm like rolling out to my stomach, and then she like turns me, so I'm literally like a blow up down, just flailing all over the place. And then I come back. I swear I got concussed because I came back to the corner, and I was like, just looking at them, and I could not understand what Terry was saying. And then Izzy Silva, I was like, I think a guy, he's like, I don't care. Shut up. Look, this is what you need to do. And then whatever he said, I went out there, and then I like just started like wrestling different. I started faking, snapping, getting behind. And then it ended up, so I think it was like, because she got a 4 for that, and then 2 more. So it was like, the match was almost over. It was either 7-0 or 6-0 before I left. And I was like, man, she's like out here whooping my ass. And I'm like, I was supposed to qualify to weight, man. I knew I should have weighed 55 kilos. And all this stuff is going through my head during the match. So then in the second period, I snap her, I get behind, I turn her. And then I ended up it was like the last few seconds, I pulled her back for a high gut. So I think I won 7-6 in the last few seconds. And I was like, yeah, I was like super excited for it. And that was the match that I was like, all right, Jacarra, you can take anybody down no matter what state of mind you're in. So awesome. I think that was my favorite win because it was such adversity. I got I got thrown, I got taken down, I got turned, probably got pushed out too. I really don't remember. So she scored probably every way on me. Yeah. And I was still able to come back. So that was super good.
That's exciting.
And no knee pads. You did it all with no knee pads too.
And no knee pads. My knees were raw and disgusting the next day. It was gross, man. But I looked good in my pictures though. I feel like knee pads kind of bring you down in your picture. But
there you go.
When you got bad knees, it doesn't matter.
You know something.
My worst loss, I would say, I don't think it was the fact that like they beat the crap out of me because it happened 4 more times, but like it was just the fact that I thought I had the possibility of winning at that point, and they would always have to have been against Helen. Like so like she was just so good, and it was like, all right, when I'd be like I'd be able to turn her at practice, like I might be able to get a takedown, And those were the little things that I needed to think that I was gonna win, you know? So I think the closest match though that I had to her, it was 6-4 or 5-6 or something like that. And all I had to do was take her backwards on a high gut. But with her having the knowledge that she knew and me not having that knowledge, I was just like, damn, I lost, you know? But like, it was, my worst losses probably that came to her because she's the only one that I felt like was so ahead of the competition. Like even me and Sarah go back, forth, but Helen was always like up here, you know? So that has to be it.
Yeah, she's one of the greats for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know she is, man.
Yeah. Well, Jacarra, this has been a lot of fun. We're just over the time, but that's all right. But any parting words from you before we let you get on with your day and keep going?
Be well, people. Be well.
Be well. We will be. All right. I think
Very
you hit
good
4
advice.
F-bombs. That was the under. I think the over-under was 6, so.
Yeah, but we can get there next
I
time.
did good. I tried not to, but.
Always a pleasure. Always a lot of fun. Thanks so much, Jacarra. We'll see you at the Captain's Cup this weekend. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Great
All right.
energy from Jacarra.
Man, always great
Infectious.
energy from Jacarra. Yeah, it's a blast.
Now I'm ready to go to Captain's Cup. We both have to get on a plane in another day or so, a couple days.
Yeah, we're going to do a dang thing. We're going to check it out. So remember, it is the Captain's Cup this weekend. Saturday and Sunday it goes down. You can watch it live right here on FloWrestling. America's Cup starts in 2 hours. Just under 2 hours here on Flo in the afternoon. It's Wednesday. So
Yep.
wrestling Wednesday, Thursday, day off on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Freestyle wrestling and then some college matches thrown in there. Can't beat it.
All right. Well, for Andy Spay, I'm Mark Bader. That's going to do it for today's show. We will see you guys next time. Thanks so much.